Welcome to another episode of Point Fighter Live. And as you can see, you got your host, Mike Pombeiro, and I do not have Jason. But you know what? We decided to bring in a special guest. You guys may know him as Cameron Dawson. Some people know him as Killer Cam. Welcome to the show, sir. How you doing?
I appreciate you, sir. I'm well.
Man, it's great to see you. I'll be honest with you. We need to probably talk more. I think the last time we talked, uh, was I think you were talking about wanting to leave Paul Mitchell.
Yeah,
You had, reached out for me for some advice, and basically I asked you what the problem was and what was important to you. And you told me family was important at the time, and I remember you leaving the team, and I thought that was the right choice. Obviously, that was your choice, and I also just said straight up, and I know you're this type of guy anyways. I said, just bring it up to Damon and bring it up to those guys and have a
shoot
conversation and tell
straight.
them how you feel. And yeah, and I think that's what people love about you is, you're not only a great martial artist, you're not only a great person, but, the way you go about things, you handle your business properly. And, you're a great role model for a lot of the upcoming martial artists. So talking
I
about that,
appreciate you.
so now talking about that, there was there. I was watching this video this weekend. Let's go right
Oh,
into.
gee, we having a tiny issue. It's like your volume is like real low.
All right, let's see. Let's see. Can you hear me better or no?
That's better.
All right, I'll try to talk a little bit better too. But check it out. So I was watching. I believe it's the North Georgia Open this weekend,
Yes, sir.
past weekend,
Hmm.
and I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting a little bit. I'm having a hard time seeing as well as I could. So I'm watching the screen and I saw what looked like a Team Paul Mitchell uniform. And I was scratching my head because I couldn't figure out, because all I saw was the back. I couldn't figure out who it was. And the TV kept panning and kept going somewhere else. So I kept watching and I'm like, who the heck was that? So later on, I see you with Team Paul Mitchell uniform. So obviously the rumor is, are you back with Paul Mitchell? Why did you have the Paul Mitchell uniform? Can you explain to that? Can you tell us a story on why you had the Paul Mitchell uniform this weekend?
Yes, sir. So just being the 1 year anniversary since Ka passed. Every time I train, I find a new way to either reinvent myself or have a different push. At this point, there's not another need to win another overall a tournament. I just want to keep being able to motivate the people around me. So when I look for different sources of why I want to get up, why I want to hit the gym, why I want to run, why I want to lift, Ka always told me that when I train, I'm never training for tournaments, that we train for life. And that kind of stuck with me this whole training camp. And then the 1 year anniversary came around, and so I was like, all right, let me go ahead and do this thing. And that was a uniform that at one point I know Ka had, but a lot of people don't know that uniform I was wearing was actually my dad's or whatever.
Mm.
So that wasn't my first John Paul Mitchell uniform. I probably can't even fit that. I was 16 years old when I got on the team. So that was a combination of being able to honor my dad and Ka all in one thing. But I did what I felt like doing because I felt as though it was right. It wasn't no check-in call, wasn't no asking permission. I did what I felt was right.
No, and that's what we were talking about earlier, how you shoot straight from the hip. I like that. And when you do something, you have a purpose, you have a reason. So regardless what everybody else thinks, as long as you're doing it for your purpose and your reason, that's great. But I also think that that's also a great homage to two great martial artists. I miss and love both of them. I miss talking to your dad. It's funny is we used to have conversations, and the most recent conversation I remember having with him was how frustrated he was that he couldn't get your brother Jarrell to come back to Baltimore. He wasn't really in agreement on what he was doing out there, but more importantly, he just felt like, hey man, he needs to come back to his family. He needs to be around family, but at the same time, he's an adult, and I allow him to make his own decisions. But I remember that was something that frustrated him.
Yeah, and
So
that's definitely what happens when you only try to deal with someone one way, and because all of us teach martial arts, we know we have students that if the student's not sharp, we can grab that student and be like, hey, tighten up. And then, we got little Billy in the back that we got to walk over to him, take a knee. Hey, bud, put your foot here. Do that. Everybody can't handle that same treatment. And, the way that my dad was with me was not the way he could be with Jarrell. And the way he was with Jarrell, he couldn't be with Brandon. So, and then we had, a baby girl after all of us. So, it was a lot of changing. So you have to approach, all of us are adapting to one personality. He had to adapt, to four. And, each one of the children were different. And, that raising your voice or barking, that just wasn't how Jarrell learned best. So, the fact that, I could see that from the outside, but everything happens for, a reason. I was able to step back and see it from the outside. So when I went back to him, I just went back to him in a place of, what are your goals and how can I serve you just as your brother? You know what I mean? And that was, something that I really hold dear, is being able to be accountable, because being able to just, anytime we deal with family, if you just swipe your hand at them as martial artists, that's another form of quitting. And I never, it never sat right with me that, he wasn't with me or he wasn't in the loop. So it just felt like we just kind of gave up. And because we weren't seeing eye to eye as men, that major ego, him and dad's, ego. I want to do it this way. You want me to do it that way. And instead of trying to make that thing fit, we just going to keep bumping heads. But I was able to see it from a neutral position. I understood dad. I understood him. And then I just took a few steps back and said, okay, how can I be stern with him, but be able to help him know that I'm here for you? And when I took that approach, we find ourselves where we are now, and we definitely got a fight coming up this weekend. So, we all good. I am my brother's keeper.
Yeah, no, that's great. I was gonna actually. It's funny that you rolled right into that. You kind of helped me segue right into how great it is now to see, and that's what I was gonna kind of ask you. I was hoping it wasn't because of your dad passing away, and then that's kind of. But I'm happy to see that you actually. Oh, hold on, I'm getting some sound.
That whatever
All right.
that is, that's better.
All right. So, like I was saying, I was hoping that's not the reason, but I'm happy to hear that you actually reached out to him and went about it that way. And it's actually great to see that you guys are there to support each other. Now he has Jeremy Roque this weekend, which I also saw had great fights this weekend and was very successful. You guys game planning for Jeremy Roque, and if you guys don't
No.
mind, no, you guys are just going out there and just
Yeah,
what he.
and the only reason why I'm saying no is no disrespect to Jeremy, but we still got the tournament first. You know what I mean? I know you're an OG competitor. We can have a habit of trying to put somebody on that list, and then you so focused on that list, you come across a burger, he giving you a hard time because you've been training for someone with their right side forward, and then the first dude you fight come out with their left side. So we not really zoned in on anyone. Is to deal with whoever's in front of us at that time, one step at a time. We kind of have that good harmony of being coach and fighter. We communicate well. I understand how he likes to be coached, and we just deal with it one step at a time and one fight at a time. And as and you take that approach, you don't have that stress, because that dude who you searching for or trying to fight, and I see a lot of people do this. They'll lose a tournament and be like, he on my list. And then they'll lose again, he on my list. They'll lose again, he on my list. And before you know it, you got 9 dudes who you're trying to chase, but you losing to a whole different group of people. So, our goal is just to be, victorious within every 2-minute fight that he has. And, we'll definitely get the job done. But, as far as North Georgia Open, Jeremy looked great. Him and Mike Simmons had an amazing fight. Hats off to him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with you. It's all about checks and balances. It's about just making sure that you're ready to do whatever you got to do, not including what you do well, but what you don't do well, and also be able to adjust on the fly. Because, like you said, you could have a kicker, a puncher, a right-sided, left-sided. You got to be ready for anything and everything. I actually didn't realize Jarrell was going to be competing. I'm happy to hear that he's going to be competing, and he's also going to be doing the fight. Does that mean you're going to be competing as well, since you're going to be there coaching already?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No,
okay,
sir.
so what makes you pick and choose when and when not to fight. So, like a good example, this weekend you fought in the division, but you didn't fight in the open weight. Am I correct by saying that?
No, sir. I was actually injured before I left home. It was something simple as being in the gym. I didn't have a weightlifting belt on, and it was like a deadlifting motion. And for some reason, I don't know if I thought my brother called me. I don't know what happened, and I went to like turn, but I still had the weight in my hand. And when I kind of turned, I did something to my back, and this is one of the times where it just showed my immaturity because I went to the tournament injured. I knew it when I was stretching. I knew it when I got on the plane. Whenever I was sitting on the plane, I went to turn side. I felt it, but I felt as though that arrogance that I could still get the job done, and I was on fire. I felt great, but your body knows best, and it was one little motion where I was kicking well and I was punching well. But the first time I did the combination of both and in between the transition is where, I felt it. So I think the correct term is like QL. It's like a muscle that runs across like the lower part of my back. Any motion that has to do with me leaning and sitting up or even trying to stand up on one foot, it definitely gives me a great deal of pain. So, I just have to be careful. I have spoken to people about it, and for some people, it has been a career-ending injury. So, I'm just blessed enough that it wasn't that. But this is a time of maturity to take my time, recover, do what I got to do. But as far as being a vet, I know that this is not a bad time. I'll recreate some things, and I definitely want to come back different.
Yeah, no, you. I thought you fought well. I mean, and plus you're young. You're what? You're going to be 24 here next month, is it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think people forget how young you are because of your maturity level, the way you handle yourself inside and outside the ring. And I also believe because you're very much like an old school throwback fighter. Like I was watching, I believe it was Bailey and you for the final match. Actually, I will have to give Bailey credit. I was surprised, and I think I mentioned it earlier, that he was willing and brave enough to blitz at you because I'm looking at you and you look like a professional wrestler. You look like a big concrete wall. Like if I hit you, I'm going to hurt myself. But I will give Bailey this type of credit. I think, I don't want to say he surprised you, but he surprised me that he would blitz you. But also, I noticed he had to get out of there immediately because bombs were coming at him. And if he didn't get out of there, it was a good chance he was going to get hit by some late flurries. So, tell us about this weekend. How'd you feel about your performance besides your back? I mean, I thought you beat Christian Rivas pretty well, caught him with some good shots. You did some great stuff all the way through. And I did see your back bother you, but I did see you do also some great stuff. How did you feel besides your back on your timing and everything else?
Timing felt good. Distancing was well, but I'm a little different because when I compete, I don't really compete for anybody else. Anytime I compete, I'm more so, and this is why people say that I joke and I play a lot. It's not really that I'm joking and playing. I'm just really thankful for being able to go to another tournament. Being in this pandemic time, we saw how fast everything can be taken away. So even though I may fight these dudes, I can sit and talk if these guys all day, and we might separate the warm up and fight. But I don't really compete for anybody else or prepare for anybody else. I want to stay healthy. I want to be active, and I just want to lead by example for the next generation coming up. Sport karate wise, I don't need to hit nobody again, punch anybody. I'm not in that phase of proving uh, anything. I'm just really here to just help and push. And if I can make anybody I fight take their martial arts to the next level or make them push, then I'm perfectly fine. I'm not even in a place where I even care for the open weight. I'm just here to stay in shape and motivate everybody after me. I mean, I remember when Bailey was a freaking orange belt running around the tournament, little big old head and a body shield. Like I'm in no ego battle driven any of those things. We're gonna get in the ring. We're gonna do what we do. And the outcome is the outcome. But a lot of people sleep on the fact that I've been doing this. I made room for people like him and Tyreek and, Trent and all of them to be able to come up and do what they did, because I pushed it past the point that Jack did. Jack set the precedent of coming up at 16. I came up, my first black belt event, American, was at 14 years old. So I opened the door to allow them dudes to do what they're doing now. But it's no ego, there's no envy there. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're trying to push themselves to become faster and stronger. Christian, Bailey, all their timing and explosion is beautiful. The only thing I can do is just, keep proving, that, I belong here. And as long as I can either help them, and make each other better men inside, outside the ring, I'm perfectly fine. The rest of the trophies and stuff and the money, they can have it.
Yeah, no, I trolled your page a little bit today, and I noticed how supportive you are of a lot of these fighters. I saw you posting stuff like about their seminars, and I thought that was really, really awesome of you. But now you mentioned a lot of things that you don't care about. So since I know what you don't care about, let me ask you this. Are you still with Team Dojo? What's in the future for Cam? Are you still going to do tournaments? Are you going to do Pro Point? What is like your goals in the next, let's say, 5 years?
I would definitely want to do the Pro Point thing, but I know that because of the weight, the weights are just so hard. If I'm not training, I'm about 273, 271 training. I could probably cut to like 255, 260, and that would have to be super heavyweight. It wouldn't be fair, especially for the way the Pro Point is set up to be exchanging shots with somebody that's 205 and somebody who's 265. And it doesn't mean that I would be the better either. You just don't want to be in that exchange where someone doesn't have, I guess, the same fair playing field. I would definitely love to compete more. Josh is doing an amazing job with the team, Ojo, Maryland's best karate team, as far as being able to teach all of our students and have our students come out competing and compete with those guys at some of the smaller events. So as far as just representing my school, as I always do and always will do, Josh has amazing things planned for the team, Ojo. So, I'll definitely be competing. I'll definitely be active. And if I could do anything to help any of the younger fighters coming up and give them some things that the generation before me didn't give me, even outside of the ring, about how they conduct business, how they conduct themselves after the event, because some generations before me did a horrible job on that. So, I just want to get in where, I fit in and just be able to help. I think help gives me more fulfillment than anything. I'd rather judge a 4 and under division all day than fight and win it overall. It just don't mean the same things to me.
Man, those are definitely some great things to think about. I hope that people reach out to you. And you know what? This is like a personal question I want to ask you. Like, and I think this might be good for some people that are dealing with it. I'm not dealing with it, but I know there are people out there. You lost your father, and not only was he a big part of your life, you guys did a lot of things together. I mean, you guys ran a school together. You went to a
Daily.
lot. I mean, you went to tournaments, and I mean, it gets me when I see an old video that someone throws up of him, chopping it up, or an old picture. Like, how do you cope with that type of stuff? I mean, this is, I mean, and then and to be around what you guys both do,
Mm-hmm.
that probably triggers a lot of things. Like, how does someone like you, like, how do you help someone else if
And
they're dealing with this? How do you cope?
I think that's when my transition came in. Like, after he passed, I realized how I guess egotistical this game can get, and you feel like, you the best in the world, you want to compete at the highest level, but how many times do we, just take to tell our coaches, thank you? How many times do we sit with our teammates, really just say, I appreciate you, thank you for pushing me? And we get caught up in, JPM impacts and, Europe and next level and dojo or whatever. Man, at the end of the day, if we can't call each other, why the hell are we even doing this? And it really opens up your eyes to a whole lot. But as far as coping, you have to make sure that I'm someone who believes in tradition. I know a lot of people don't care about rank, they don't care about systems. That's just not how I was raised. I've seen dudes and women in our system put in pain to really wear the ranks that they wear and be in the position that they're in. I know a lot of people get belts now from competition. What I've seen people really go through some hellacious stuff as far as to earn their position. So as far as being the head of our system now, I take that seriously as far as responsibility and the way that I cope. It's just being able to remember, but not sit in that place. Like if you sit in that place of hurt, that could definitely be tough. And for anybody who's gone through it, there are phases to it. You will compete first out of sheer anger, like that 2019 season when I was killing it and I was hot. To be honest, I don't remember any of it because I was so freaking zoned out. And behind closed doors, teammates trying to get me to come downstairs and really just being a mess, man. It was, that shit was real. That it ain't no way to move around it. It was definitely real. And even some days, even going into school, I'll be locking up and turning the lights out, and you'll just have that moment, like damn, it's quiet. Like he really gone. But the thing is, to understand that a novice teacher will teach with their body, a skilled instructor will teach with their words, but an eternal teacher will teach with moral concept and principle, even after their death. So when I ask myself, is he truly gone? He's truly not, because everything that he teaches still runs through me. And every time that I teach, and when I do a seminar, I don't even mention myself. I just let them know that I am a vessel, of my, instructor. So I think these last 2 years have been a point of growth, and I think that's why I'm so invested to who's going to be responsible for how this thing is handled, next. Because for me, I take being a champion through and through seriously. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do, you're not. There's no way you're going to catch me doing that and call myself a champion. I don't care how many overalls you won. And some of these dudes that they be idolizing behind closed doors, garbage. And I don't care for any of them.
No, that's some great information there, and I totally agree. Your dad's words definitely resonate with me. I remember him just always chopping it up and asking me questions and giving me insight as well. It's funny. Your dad's got me beat by, I want to say, I think he's maybe about 10 years old or somewhere in that range. So I used to watch your dad way back in the day when he was with Metro. Um, and I just remember how amazingly fast he was for his sheer size.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and 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 it's interesting that you said that you wore his gi, and I couldn't tell because I mean the gi looked a little bit big on you, but I mean I remember also you fighting Virtual Fight Tour, and I forget what weight they said. It was in and you just finished saying you walk around 270
Yeah,
something, right?
yeah.
I mean, you look like all muscle, like you should be in wrestling, you should be in bodybuilding. Um, how do you maintain that size and like sheer strength, but yet have so much speed and flexibility? I mean, what kind of things are you doing for your training regimen, if you don't mind me asking?
Us being Taekwondo, I think the agility within the kicking is something that we've never lost. So, a lot of people just train, what's hot now. The drills that Mafia gave us, as far as the whole Boston Taekwondo camp, the Goshishan Taekwondo camp, and us being Chungdokorn Taekwondo, our camps are very similar. So having that explosive kicking and being able to work on the different variations of kicking, and most importantly, speed and flexibility have to go hand in hand. If I was to, lift and not stretch, I would be super duper tight. But Mafia was always on us about stretching, keeping your hips open, how to stay flexible. So the more we did that, and the more we stayed on top of being, I guess, prepared. Everything that Mafia did was in multiples. Everything was, hook round. Okay, then next drill, hook round hollow, spin hook. hook round hollow spin, hook back leg axe. So being able to get your body to move in those manners, you know, and we would have all different kinds of classes. And of course, now in this day and age, we got the weight vests, the ankle weights, the resistance bands. But before then, we were in classes where, you know, we would turn our belt around and the other partner will hold your belt and you try to go forward and kick. But now that we're in a more modern time, you know, it's more so working with the weight vest and the ankle weights and the resistance bands and, you know, doing everything that I can to stay explosive.
No, it's working. I mean, you look strong, you look fast. You remind me of an old school fighter, and it's funny that you mentioned Mafia. Um, when I first went into the adult division, I already knew who Mafia was, but I had the ill fortune of fighting him, I believe, at the Empire State, and he caught me with the nastiest spin hook kick, and I was a
Okay.
Hey, he'll be back. He'll be right back now. All right. I guess he got logged off for a second. Okay, there he is. All right.
my internet stinks over here, so I'm happy it was only one so far. But yeah, I remember Mafia dropping me, and like you said, talking about ego, I got right back up. Didn't allow myself to get cleared, and then he hits me with the nastiest car wheel kick, and he just basically embarrassed me. And I remember always looking up to Mafia. But the one thing about Mafia is I asked him, I said, "Can I come and train with you?" He opened up his doors, let me come down. I would come down and train with him, and they would just kick my butt. And I mean, it was the best thing for me because I felt that I trained so hard there that when I went to a tournament, things were just so much easier. Now, when you train, do you train as hard as when you the tournaments? Are you basically trying to take each other's head off?
No. Over the years after, we lost him. Bear with us, guys. Alex, is it his connection or is it your
Yeah,
mic?
he's back. He's coming back now.
Okay.
I guess all right, here we go. It's all good.
I talked about him spin hook kicking me, and I got
Here we
knocked
go.
out, man. But no, but like I said, I think it's great. How you talk about role models like that. People forget about Mafia. People sleep on a lot of these older people. Ka people. Hopefully, they don't forget about Ka. Your dad was an awesome fighter, and I love that you're you're bringing this old school flavor forward because you're entertaining to watch. I mean, you go out there. Not only are you very humble and you go out there and you said, like you said, you're very playful, but when you go out there and you do your thing, you're all business. And when you hit people, I feel like you can tell that if the intention was to take somebody out, you're always in a position of wanting to take them out if you wanted to. Like a good example, you and Bailey fought, and I saw one time he blitzed and they already had called stop. You threw a 1-2 on his head and you pulled it. But when you're going after people and you're trying to hit them, I feel like your intention looks like you're trying to treat these people as if they're on the street. Am I right by saying that? Is that kind of how you, when you're out there fighting? I mean, not that you're hitting them as hard as you can, but I mean, you're fighting like if you were out in the street and your intention is like you're always ready before and after all
Yes,
your
sir.
points.
I think I know that comes from just coming up in the traditional system and the way that we sparred in class. Um, Previously in the past, like when I was younger, you could think that somebody was done, and that person just might not really be
Oh,
done, and you could take some really bad shots, like
absolutely.
and as far as just staying ready. But with our system, there was a point in time where we didn't really differentiate between sparring and self defense, and as far as sometimes having full gear on, sometimes not, and depending on how we wanted to do our sparring. And even there are certain weeks in training camp where we don't spar with gear on, and that's to keep, the reverse punch honest, to keep the back fist honest, to keep the reach hand honest, so that we don't ever lose artistry. And that's something, that it depends on who your favorite fighters are also, because you can only rise to the standard of what you look up to, and if your favorite fighter didn't have an issue diving across the ring, then you're not going to have an issue doing it either. So as far as me and the people I looked up to, I was a VHS person. I wasn't a blitz kick studier, so it made me a little different. And I'm not saying that whoever's in this current group of fighters top five, that doesn't discredit their top five, but their top five is not my top five. And that's strictly up for preference and opinion. But every time that we train with that intention to stay sharp. And we were always taught that if we use any technique from sport karate in the street, that we should be able to, either lane main or disfigure. That was always, our thing as far as the school was concerned.
Yeah, you enticed me. Who's your top five, if you don't mind me asking?
My
Either,
it wouldn't be no specific order.
yeah, I was gonna
I
say you
would
don't have to give me an order. Just top five. Just throw out 5 names.
I would go Mav, Pedro, Ka, Gene Boogie Frazier. Yeah, I had to go with AP.
Yeah,
But then there's those sleepers that a lot of people don't give credit to, like Satch Williams and Ray Wizard. I mean, man, you got a lot. You really got a lot. And I'm just going based on my preference of fighting, and my preference is being able to demonstrate, skill level and a plethora of skill. That's just my preference. I know everybody's good, but show me a skill level. A lot of these dudes, we so quick to call dudes kickers, and they can really only kick off one side, or they don't really have like jump back kicks and spin hooks. They don't really got 360 hooks and tornado round kicks. So it's like my definition of a kicker is someone who can go the full distance. That front leg pump is not really a kicker for me personally. So as far as standard, I think I just have a different checklist as far as what I go through when I consider someone a great puncher, or even when they say someone has a great blitz. In this day and age, what they mean to say is this person is athletic. It does not mean that they have a great blitz. I ain't seen none of these dudes knock nobody out with just a blitz, but I seen Jerry Fontenez punch dudes in their mouth and drop them to their knees with just a back fist. And that's having a great blitz, knowing how to engage, your quadriceps and your hamstring and squeeze your core, and turn over at the last second. And a lot of these dudes be blitzing and don't know the difference between the traditional punch and the vertical punch and when to use it. So, all those little different nuances of how to keep that elbow bent and not overextend, all those little tiny things that are part of artistry is what's kind of lost. But it just comes to preference, because that's not a must for this game. You got to have a deeper love for it to accept that part of it. That's like people who watch a movie. Some people just watch it for the storyline. People who've been in film, they be like, man, the audio was horrible. I don't like the angles. I don't like the lighting. It just depends on how you want to, look at it. But my perception don't have to be yours.
yeah. No, for me, when it comes down to fighting, I like someone that has a plethora of stuff, but also I like if I could say, okay, just use a sidekick. Let's see if you can score. That's when I know someone knows how to do a sidekick. And I tell my students or anybody that I work with all the time, and especially when they give me that face when I say, all right, we're going to work sidekicks. And they're like, what? And I'm like, listen, if I tell you any fighter in here and I say, you know what? All you can use is sidekicks. Can you win that fight with just a sidekick? Can you win? And that's the one thing I think that people have lost. They depend on things. I think making your all-around game good, getting a good back, really, I mean, and basics, good back fist, good body punch, good roundhouse, good side, good hook, and if you want to add an axe kick in there, and then everything else is just, it's all about the ingredients, how you set it up. I mean, you can go offense with a sidekick, you can go defense. I'm sorry.
And I no, I think that's a very valid point, and we start going through, hearing so many opinions about what's high percentage, what's not high percentage. Well, I didn't see Moth throw 3 spin hooks in a tournament and hit with all 3. 100% seemed pretty high.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I also think that people forget that a sidekick can be used in so many ways. It can be used to, you know, close the distance. It can be used to create distance if someone's trying to. So I mean, and I think, like I said, people think a sidekick is just a sidekick, but I think you can actually use a sidekick so many different ways and for different purposes, for
Yes, sir.
setups, to create stuff. So I think that's the difference when I see some of the old school fighters. They might do basic stuff, but it's so multi-layered and faceted that really it isn't. It's not. It's not basic. It's
Right,
actually
right.
really extensive. So you know, um, you talked about a few people earlier. You talked about Satch. God rest his soul. I wanted to take this opportunity to mention. I don't know if you heard. I'm pretty sure you have, but Richard Bearfield ended up passing away the other day. Now I don't want to put out too much information, but I know that Damon hit me up the other day, and he's trying to get a few people together over here on the West Coast where we're trying to do a seminar to try to raise funds. I will give more information when I know who exactly is involved, once everybody's, said yay or nay and what date. But I wanted to make sure that I put out there. And Richard is one of those guys that I had the opportunity when I moved out here. And besides John Payton was another guy that taught me distance and timing. That's a guy. He did a lot of stuff, but that guy had one of the best body punches, reverse punches. His ability to just make people miss and just use a body punch, and you knew it was coming. But I mean, the way he could just set it up with all these different nuances, and that was one thing that I just looked up to him and respected him and thought, wow, what a great guy. And unfortunately, we lost him, but that's some of that old school flavor, and that's something that you remind me of, and I'm happy to see you out there. So, besides talking about this Georgia Open, your brother coming up, is there anything else that you'd like to talk about? Anything that you'd like to mention that we haven't talked about? Because I know you. I mean, I know you've been interviewed before. I don't want to keep repeating and asking all the same questions. I want anything that you want to discuss or you want to talk about that you want to, maybe mention.
We can talk about how you don't get the credit that you deserve. We can talk about that.
It's okay, man. You know what? That's the unfortunate thing about our sport is that a lot of people have short-term memory loss and they forget. But honestly, like how you said about how your dad sometimes resonates, how he fights through you. I get that same feeling when some of the people
Like
that
he
I've
birthed a lot of these kids. You can say it. You can say it.
There's people that I feel blessed that when I see them doing well, where some people might allow their ego to get to them and be jealous, I'm actually proud. I'm actually proud because I see a lot of the things that maybe I pass down. And even if they do it better than me, listen, that's great. They took that concept, they took that idea, and someone believed in me one day, and look what they were able to do. So if people don't believe in me, I feel like it's their loss. So I don't take it personal. You know what I mean? And that's why I love when I show up to a dojo and I'm an older guy and I wear some weird gear and people don't know who I am. I get to slap the what out of them, and at the end of the day, maybe they can Google me and find out later. But I mean, it's all good, and really, I appreciate that, and now that I got a family, I love the sport. I want to be a part of it, and that's why I'm kind of doing things here and there, and I'd like to be even more part of it. And trust me, I miss fighting, but I don't let my ego get the best of me. I know I can hang out there with people, but I also know that my family right now is really important to me. And I put a lot of other things in front of my karate, where back in the day, I was selfish. Karate was everything. And I mean, I would, like you said, no drinking, no smoking, no partying. There's a lot of things that I don't want to say missed out, but I avoided
Yes, sir.
because I
Sacrifice.
felt because I felt this was more important. I mean, I don't know how many Thanksgivings I missed to go to Waco. I don't know how many things I missed just in general. But I mean, the great thing about it is the reward that I get to have people like you in my life, like your father in my life, Richard Bearfield, Ka. You mentioned him earlier, Mafia Holloway. I mean, I've met a lot, and the funny thing is that at one time I was a fan of these guys. Not that I'm still not a fan, but I remember when I first met these guys, and then we got on some kind of level where I felt like they were treating me even. I remember I would go home and I would be like, "Oh my God, this guy, that I used to look up to, is looking up to me now." But then I go back and I think about all the hard work and all the times I lost and all the times
Sure.
I picked myself up. And it's great that it's great to see your upbringing and how this generation continues. So I know that you're engaged, correct, to Stephanie Pagan, I believe it is.
Yes, sir.
So is this going to continue? Are you guys eventually going to have a child once you guys get married? And are you guys planning on bringing them up in the karate world? They have to get black belt and possibly continue
I
the
think
family tradition.
my dad was one of those people who was like, you gotta train, you gotta do this, I was like, I don't know if I would be that way. I don't know if I would have to do some real thinking about how, I would want to go about it. Me and my brother talk about it all the time as far as what we're going to be doing with these next generations coming after. And, we definitely know that we have a great responsibility, as far as decision making and as far as the direction that we want to take our family in, so, I don't know if I'll be that hardcore karate dad, but I know that's where my heart will be. But I definitely know what it's like to feel like it's pushed on you, But if that person is not in a position to receive that push, then things could definitely get a little difficult, as you guys saw.
No, no, I'm the same way. Like with my kid, I'm not pushing the karate thing. I'm waiting until he gets older. Comes to me with it. I continue to work out and kind of set examples, and every once in a while he'll want to join me, and I'm hoping that's the way we'll kind
Mm-hmm.
of want to bond. But yeah, I agree. I don't want to force anything because the last thing I want to do is have him resent it and hate it,
Yes,
and
sir.
have him prove a point by never wanting to do it or doing it as horrible as he possibly can. So I'm just
And,
like,
and it's a very
forget
fine
about
line
it.
too. It's a very fine line. Um, and even when I go to tournaments now, it does kind of hurt to see some of those parents who live vicariously through their children, and that really does have a major effect on them. And no, none of the veterans want to hurt the kids' feelings and tell them like, hey, anything you do before you 18 really does not count, and nobody cares. Nobody wants to hurt their feelings and tell them that. But if we were to take that approach, they could really have fun. They could truly have fun. Like, I saw parents even at the North Georgia Open, 7-year-old overtime lose by one. The kid loses. The mom and dad snatch him up. It's because you weren't in class on Tuesday. It's like, this kid does not drive. This kid don't have no drivers. Once parents get caught up into this thing, they don't pay attention to the fact that if we lose the fun, it's not worth doing. And that's why every time I go out and compete, I want to share that feeling with everyone. Everyone I come in contact with, even if it's a parent or a competitor. I want to make sure that they know that when we leave that event, if we had a genuine interaction, that you knew that my love for you was real. That you was able to, feel that, because that's been my reality, knowing that every tournament could be your last event. And I think now my whole mindset is just different. My mindset is just different. And for a lot of the youth who are coming up, and I know that, some of the articles and stuff try to build a perception. I don't know if I have closer friends or people I consider brothers that are the people I compete against. Like, everybody has this like idea that like me and Anthony Merrick don't get along over there. I probably talk to Ant probably 2-3 times a week. There's this thing around like, oh, we know the Plowman and the Dawson rivalry goes way back or whatever. it's not that deep. It's not that deep. So like, and it's very, very easy to take this thing entirely left. And the more we appreciate the position that we're in, to be blessed enough to even be able to do martial arts, the better that we'll be.
No, it's about building each other up. I don't think it's about breaking each other down. And I think we get a lot of mutual respect.
Uh-oh.
I mean, and of course, you and I would say probably Avery are probably the two top heavyweights that I would say. But I think that's the great thing. I mean, don't you want rivalries? Don't you want someone that gets you up and gets you motivated and makes you want to work out and make you get to that next level? I mean, I think
Yeah, and
that's what it's all about.
I would definitely agree with that, but I would say that there's a fine line. And this is something I had to understand growing up from environment to karate. Because I let people get away with things in karate that if we were anywhere else, you would never get away with, ever. So it would be the understanding that you can have that rivalry, you can have that push, but don't ever become disrespectful with your competitors. Don't ever become, I guess, having that ill feeling so much that you don't make each other better. Let's definitely not forget the martial arts side of it, because anytime that we become bigger than the competition, or we want to be make it all about us, then it's no longer worth doing. I done seen Bill Beeson and Kevin Thompson kill each other, hug it out, and have dinner afterwards. But if there's some real ill feeling, then as men, that's something that that we really need to get to the bottom of, or whatever. But if we can compete in a healthy manner and not take it, because that's my biggest thing. I don't mind karate competition, but don't take it past that. Like there's a very fine line where we can compete. Everything's about team versus team. Team fights are intense, but that's where it stops. It don't go past that, because if it goes past that, we got a whole different issue than just karate. So I would say to any of the young ones coming up, just have that balance, because at the end of the day, we'll find that other martial artists are more like us and understand us. And when it comes those tough times in life, and you want to pick that phone up, you don't want to burn the bridge with someone who could possibly help you. But once again, that's just my outlook on it. Everybody might not be open to it.
No. I think, like I said, you're an old soul, man. You're giving out a lot of great advice. And I think that's something you need to tell Mafia, because Mafia was always coming at me mentally, tactic.
Mentally, yes, sir.
I mean, I'd be in the elevator and he'd start talking about making bets, or talking about how he's going to get a piece of me later. And I mean, I remember for a little while when I first started, I let it get to me, but after a while, I allowed it to motivate me and make me want to eat his words. Oh man, we lost him this time. It was his turn this time. Anyways, guys, he'll be back here. There he is. Hey, I don't want to keep you hostage. I know Alex has got some things to do. I wanted to also congratulate your brother, not only for moving back there, but I heard he got engaged recently. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
that's awesome. I also want to wish you guys good skills this weekend, coach as well as fighter. Have him go out there and do his thing. I know he's been kind of slowly getting back into the groove, but I think each time he's getting better and better. And I think you have a lot to do with that, my friend. And one more thing, we need to make sure we stay in touch. I'm going to say I'm partially at fault of that, so I need to make sure that we stay in contact, because like I said, you're an old soul, and just talking to you, man, you remind me so much of your dad. But you know what? Regardless of age, I feel like just listening to you today, I get reminded of a lot of positive things. You're very positive, and also I learned a lot of new things from you, man. Because us old dogs can learn some tricks from you new cats as well. So, anything else you want to say? Any shout outs you want to give out before we head out?
Man, everybody who major shout out to the whole sport karate. Just as a family. I think this was a real important time for us to come together, and no matter if it was on VFT or virtual tournament, if it was Pro Point, man, this time really showed us that if we don't have anything in common, it's that common love for what we do. I'm just thankful, that everybody's healthy. And a lot of times, like at North Georgia Open, if I don't participate in the social media things, and if I'm not, advertising myself out there, no one has to hesitate, to call me, or if you need help with anything, financials are not even something I'm considering. I'm blessed enough to be in a position where, I'm stable. Our school is, awesome. I don't have any worries. So if I have ever, offended anybody by, mid conversation, walking away, if it seemed like I didn't give you the time of day or anything like that, feel free to just inbox me on Facebook, or, give me a quick call. If there's anything you want to go over, anything, I just want to be approachable so I can give everything that I have. Even if you're a competitor of mine and you want to know how I keep doing certain things, ask me. I'll tell you, because the better that you get, the better that I'll get. And I'm really about the art. And the more I can better my art, the happier I am. And that's just where I'm at. I know it's a little different from that grit that I might have had when I was trying to prove myself. And I'm not complacent. I still don't like to lose. I just have a different appreciation. You know what I mean? I have a different appreciation for waking up. I have a different appreciation for, family. I have a different appreciation for getting able, just being able to get in a huddle with the guys again. You never know when it's going to be your last one, man. And I cannot stress that enough. You truly just never know. You know what I mean? And we just take that. We see our tournament schedule and we already counting tournaments. We going through the year, we going through the list, and we might not be blessed enough to get that. So if there's anything anybody wants to ask me, reach out to me, come out to your school. Tell me if you're underprivileged school and we got to do it just off GP. I got you. Anything. Anything. I just want to be a help. Just like I told you, and helping is just what makes me happy. If I can help anywhere, tell me. Zoom, in person, mask on, seminar. I don't care. I just want to help.
No, man, you're a class act, and a lot of words of wisdom, and I think that you're a great role model in the martial arts. Not only are you a great martial artist, but like I said, inside and outside the ring, I think a lot of people need to look up, and the way you carry yourself is, I think, a way that a lot of these parents would wish that their kids would be like. So just keep doing your thing, man. And again, love you. I
Love you
miss
more.
you. And definitely going to stay in touch more because, like you said, man, there's too many people passing away that I love, that are real close, and you never know. Like you said, tomorrow's not promised. So hey, man, love you, and peace out, man.
I love you more.
Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it. Really
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Always got your back.
All right, man. Peace. Take care,
Peace.
brother.